This is the heater, resistor and connector on the Grande Punto, and as you can see here, the connector is melted. Now if you look there, you can see there's two heavy wires in that. And that's where these two have melted. Now the problem with this connector, it's a common fault on the Punto. The problem with this connector is it can't carry the current. There's a bit of a bottleneck here at this connector. It's not able to handle the current coming down them wires. Now, what I intend to do, I'm going to try something different here. Try to solve the problem once and for all. I'm going to solder the wires directly to this resistor in here where the connector would be. And then I'm going to bring the connection away from do away with this and have a block connector connecting up the wires on the loom back up to this resistor and see if it will actually solve the problem. And I've already tinned the connectors in there, and I'm going to solder wires to them now, and hopefully this will solve the problem, because that connector is just too light. It doesn't have any grab on it, and when you stick it together it just doesn't hold that. It's heating up at that point, and it's actually causing the wires themselves to heat up, these two here. Maybe just this one, and maybe it's travelling over to this one is most likely what's happening. But it's a fire hazard, and so I'm going to try and solve that for once and for all. Okay, so my plan anyway is to solder the wires onto each of the connectors here, and just looking at this connector here, right, the two heavy wires are at the top. So I'll start by I'm putting in doubles there because I don't have a heavy wire, and so I'm going to solder one in here now. So the first thing I'll do is I'll tin this. Okay, I'll dip this in a bit of flux. Okay, now we look at that. But that's well held now, that's soldered on well. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so they're all soldered on now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a bit of shrink sleeving around them, push them right down over the spades. Okay, so push this one right down, and I'll heat that up now in a minute. And I want them shrink sleeving colour coded if we can. Now, as you can see there, that's going to go back on the car, and it's going to connect up. Brown is on the top. This one here, believe it or not, as I say, was orange. Then you have blue, then you have green, and then you have yellow. So I've just got them wires clipped in the loom at the minute, and I'm going to connect them up to this side here after I put this back in, and it takes away from this dangerous section here, and it brings the connection away from this point here, because those little spades there, right, are just not able to carry the current from those heavy wires there.
Okay, YouTubers, I have the resistor for the fan back in and it's working perfect. I believe this to be a more permanent solution to the problem. I broke up the original connector, and I'll show it at the tail end of this so that you can see that it's a bad design, it's a poor design, and that's why it's a common fault on the Puntos. I'll just show you also how this is working now, and as I say, there's a bottleneck there at the connector, and it's not able to handle the amperage that's going down the wire, so this is a more permanent solution. Soldering the wires directly on, and then I have the block connector to be able to disassemble it. It's working perfect. There's that.
I'm just going to give you a look at the actual connector itself. You can see there that there's no real way to clean the inside of the connector, and it's quite flimsy. It's only connected on one side, and you can see yourself it's likely that once it overheats and it softens it a bit, all that holds that in is the plastic connector. The plastic connector then softens, and then it's a kind of a situation that you can't really get back to normal again, no matter how well you clean it. So another thing I want to do here is just show you the very top of this connector. I didn't notice that clips off. That's actually held on as well by a little strap there, right? It's meant to be on both sides, but because I broke this off, it's just hanging from one now. Now what that does, it exposes the front of it here. And I'm just going to zoom in again. Okay, so there we are. Now, there's two little catches, one on the top of the connector and one on the bottom of the connector. And in order to get the connector to pull out, it pulls out from the wire end. You need to pop these back, and it's not that easy to get the two of them to hold back. When they do, as you can see there now, you can pull the connector out. And that's the connector now without any boring on it. So you can see what they were trying to do. There's good, there's good contact there, you can tell. But the problem is it's only actually fully connected on one side, the other side being open. And so once it starts to open, the contact is going to become weak, and that's unfortunately what happens to them. So I've soldered them on, and I've moved the connection away from that point, and it works absolutely perfect now, and I've no need to consider like that it might overheat again, because it's soldered on, and there's no this point here was a bottleneck, right, for the current, and so that's why it was overheating. It was melting back the two clips on the plastic, and therefore it was losing its grip, and it's easy enough to bend without any reinforcement around the side of it. And so that's it anyway. That's the connector on the Punto, and you can see there that you might be able to pop them out if you wanted to pop them out, open them up a bit, give it a good cleaning, and close it back up and push it back in again. I would have liked, and actually when I look at these now, but I popped them out and soldered them onto the connections, it would have been good, you know, it would have been very solid. But that's it, that's where we're at. So I'll leave it at that. It was just a quick one on the Punto connector if you wanted to see how it was there. See, I'll just push that back in there now. Let's see if we can get it back there, bring it back away from there. Leave it there now, see, push that back in. This is a bit longer than this because it's obviously I've broken it, but you can see how it goes back in. Pushes down. And there you are now, you see. So that's how it is. If you want to try and get them out, pop the top off first and put a pin in top and bottom, keeping pressure on the wire. Okay, because you've got to get the two of them back. So once you get the one back, it'll hold back. Once you pressure on the wire, it won't slip back into the slot, and you can get the other one back and it'll just pop out. And then if you want to put it back in again, of course it's only a case of pushing the thing straight back in. Now it probably won't go in. Yeah, it won't go in with the, not white. Let's be top and bottom, let's have a look. No, it won't go in with the lid on it, right? So you see, that's the reason why they made it that way. So if you pop it back up, take the connectors out, do what you want to do with them, and then you get your connector, you'll hear it clicking back in, and then you can put the catch back on, and it locks it in place. Okay, so that's how it's done. Okay, YouTubers, that's it.